Welcome to a new story made by Oracle One. Voicemail from the dead, Paranormal. Clara Dawson's fingertips hovered over her phone screen, indecision gripping her like cold fingers twisting her gut. Again, the voicemail icon flashed, an ominous pulse amid the quiet hum of her apartment. She swiped hesitantly, heart pounding as she pressed play. Clara, please, don't trust him. He's not who you think he is. The voice was unmistakably her sister's, soft, trembling, saturated with desperation. But that was impossible. Emily had been dead for 7 months, her life snatched away in a car accident that left only shattered glass and broken hearts behind. Yet here it was, a voicemail, clear and chilling, from the other side. Clara yanked the phone away from her ear, breath ragged, mind reeling with disbelief. Was she losing her grip on reality? Or was this something else? Something far darker? The night Emily died still haunted Clara's dreams. She remembered the frantic phone call, a frantic voice on the other end telling her Emily had been hit on the highway, the brutal screech of tires, and then the numbing silence that swallowed her whole. In the months since, Clara had barely ordered her life back. Alone in the dim apartment, she clung desperately to the memory of her sister's laugh, her warmth. It was during those lonely nights she met David. David Mercer was everything Clara thought she needed. Charming, dependable, with a quiet strength that filled the void Emily had left. They met at a local charity gala, an impulsive night out she almost cancelled, and their conversations flowed as if they'd known each other for years. David listened, comforted her, made her believe hope still lived. They married 3 months ago. But now, that voicemail shattered everything. Clara couldn't ignore it, how could she? It was Emily's voice, trembling with warning, don't trust him. Clara stared at her phone again. Another voicemail. This time, 3 in quick succession. Hands trembling, she pressed play. Clara, you're in danger. He's watching, always watching. Remember the woods Emily warned you last summer? The place you saw him at night? He never belonged in your life. Leave before it's too late. Her breath hitched. The woods. The cottage near the edge of town. They'd gone hiking last summer, Emily insisting they explore a trail she'd discovered. Clara recalled flashes. A shadow glimpsed between trees, and David's inexplicable anger when she mentioned it months later. Her phone buzzed again. This time, the message was distorted, static overlaid beneath Emily's voice. Don't go upstairs. Not alone. Clara sat frozen, tension rising in her shoulders. David was in the kitchen, somewhere just out of sight. The day's shadows lengthened, growing grotesque along the walls. Several nights passed with Clara replaying the voicemails, trapped in a chasm between fear and confusion. She confronted David cautiously, questions swirling about his strange moods and secretive phone calls. David's eyes darkened briefly at her questions but passed quickly. You're stressed, he said softly. Maybe it's just grief. But Clara saw the glint of something else, calculation? Malevolence? She didn't know, yet. Then, the nightmares began. Waves of chilling visions. A room shrouded in darkness. A pair of glowing eyes, and a soft whisper repeating, she warned you. It was always the same, the upstairs bedroom. That forbade place in their once cozy home. Desperation clawed at Clara. She confided in her oldest friend, Rachel, who urged caution and suggested contacting a paranormal investigator. Clara had always been a skeptic, but now she had to admit something supernatural was at play. The investigator, an elderly woman named Mavis, arrived one rainy morning, carrying talismans and a box of archaic tools. She listened as Clara recounted the voicemails. Mavis nodded gravely and set about sweeping the house for energy signatures. Upstairs, where the warnings converged, Mavis paused near a faded patch on the carpet. The wood beneath smelled faintly of decay. "There's something trapped here," Mavis said quietly. "Something tethered to your home, and to your family." They sat together in the living room as Mavis played recordings of EVP, electronic voice phenomena. Amidst white noise, a voice emerged. "He hides in darkness." Clara's eyes widened. "David?" Mavis frowned. "Perhaps. But this presence is older than you think." As days blurred, Clara began her own investigations, digging into David's past. Online searches yielded little, until an obscure local news article appeared. A man named David Mercer had once been investigated for suspected occult practices linked to disappearances around small towns nearby. Could it be? Had she married a man with a sinister past? Worse, the warning voices implied he might be a threat to her, perhaps to anyone who opposed him. One evening, Clara found a hidden drawer in the bedroom dresser she had never searched before. Inside lay a bundle of old photographs and a small, leather-bound journal belonging to Emily. In trembling hands, Clara read entries that chronicled Emily's growing fear of David. Emily had suspected some darkness behind his charming facade, her last entry pleading with Clara to be careful, to watch for the signs. The final page was smeared with what looked like blood. "If anything happens to me, he must be stopped." The room suddenly felt stifling, shadows creeping closer with each breath. The door creaked shut behind her, and a chilling whisper echoed, "You were warned." Clara realized she could no longer pretend the past months were simple tragedy and bad luck. Something evil had infiltrated her life, manipulating and silencing her beloved sister. In the dead of night, Clara crept upstairs, clutching a crucifix Mavis had given her for protection. Each step felt heavy, the silence thickened with unseen eyes. In the corner of the obscure bedroom, David stood, watching her with a cold, unnatural smile. His form seemed almost shadowed, shifting unnaturally. "You shouldn't have listened," he said in a voice that was both David's and something otherworldly. She could feel the darkness pressing in, tendrils of a malevolent force trying to snuff out the last sparks of light she clung to. But Clara fought back. Drawing on the memories of Emily's love and urgency, she chanted the prayers Mavis had taught her. The room trembled as a fierce wind screamed through the windows, extinguishing candles and sending papers flying. With a final scream of rage, David's form shattered into a mist of black smoke, dissolving into nothingness as the first rays of dawn pierced the windows. Weeks later, Clara sat by her window. The voicemails silenced, the sense of being watched lifted at last. She could still hear Emily's voice sometimes, gentle and comforting, a whisper woven through the breeze. "You're safe now," it said. But Clara knew to never ignore the thin veil separating the living from the dead, for sometimes, they reach out with warnings born of love and terror. Like and subscribe for more stories.